everybody. So I wanted to pop on here because I have seen Crimes of Grindelwald, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Crimes of Grindelwald, 3 times within the week that the movie was released. And I am a very, very big Harry Potter nerd. And I've decided that maybe it would be fun to kind of put some of my theories and some of my questions onto my channel, because I have so many thoughts and so many questions that I just need to like get them out there. I've discussed this with my dad. I've discussed this with my friends. I've discussed this online, and it was really hard to do it before the movie had officially come out, because I did like a special viewing before the movie had come out. I went on the 13th, it came out on the 16th, so it was really hard. I had to find a special event page on Facebook where people had seen it. So I wrote down some thoughts in my phone that I had and I wanted to discuss with you guys. And I thought, you know, some of you may have some of these theories, same thoughts and theories. And you know what? Even though I've seen the movie 3 times, I may have missed something. And if you have an answer to one of the questions I have, please answer down below in the comments, because I want to know. And also, if you have any theories that I haven't thought of, please let me know too, because I really want to know. So here we go. I have so many thoughts. I should preface this video in saying that if you haven't watched the movie yet, please do not continue. Go watch the movie and then come back, because there are spoilers in this video. Spoiler alert. You're going to learn some things. Okay, now I can continue. The first one I want to discuss is Queenie. Okay, so the whole Queenie storyline. We know what happens with Queenie in the end. I don't think she is that gullible or naive. She's very like airy-fairy in this video, or in this movie. Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy that she came to Europe just to get married, especially without Tina. I don't buy the fact that she is that scared and airy-fairy. We know she's a little airy-fairy, kind of like Luna, but Luna also wasn't like scared. So we know that Dumbledore used Severus Snape because of Snape's occlumency skills. Why would Dumbledore not use that previously in his life if he had that? So my theory is that Dumbledore asked Queenie to come to Europe, and basically Queenie is going to be a spy. She's going to be the Severus Snape of this series. So Queenie is going to come to Europe because Dumbledore asked her, under the pretense of, me and Jacob are getting married. And you know what? She brought Jacob with her because she wanted to get married, maybe, you know? Like, why the hell not? So she brings Jacob with her, and she probably wanted Jacob to come with her to join Grindelwald, based on how she's trying to convince him to come with her in like the amphitheater scene. I think she was trying to convince him to just join her and to just trust her without being able to tell him the truth that she is in cahoots with Dumbledore and she has to do this because she can read minds. She's a better Legilimens than Snape is, I think. Snape was very skilled in it, but she, at least we're given the impression that she was kind of born with this really natural skill to just easily read minds. So I think she's going to end up being a spy. I do not believe that she is that stupid. The other theory I've been hearing like flying around is that Queenie is under the Imperius curse. It's possible, but I think that that would be a little more lackluster. I mean, I personally like the fact that, or the idea that Dumbledore is, he's got secrets up his sleeve, just like he always has, and she is much smarter than they're portraying her right now. Okay, the other thing, so we're moving on. Nagini. Okay, so first of all, Nagini is bomb as crap, okay? I have always been fascinated with Nagini. She's so cool. So I love animals. I work with animals, and she's just always, ignore that. That's my fire alarm beeping. It needs batteries. But she's always been so cool. She's always been this like really neat snake that's been this like very powerful. She's Voldemort's, right-hand gal who's the most trusted. Dumbledore tells Harry that it's probably the closest Voldemort's ever come to loving something because he has complete faith in her because a part of him is in her. So, I can't say the F word. She's a freaking woman, okay? She's a woman. And the whole entire movie, by the way, I'm staring at this woman who has feelings, who seems compassionate, who is taking care of Credence, who is a friend to Credence, who literally tells him, Grindelwald knows what you were born, not who you are, which is phenomenal advice. And I keep looking at this woman, I'm like, Neville chops her head off. Like, Neville honestly chops her head off. So, it's a little conflicting in my mind to see her and be like, damn, that's Nagini. And when she turned into, like, full snake form Nagini, I was like, that's my girl. But anyway, so, in the end, they're on the bridge. The bridge where in the movie Harry breaks the Elder Wand, throws it off. Okay. Nagini and everyone else is on the end of the bridge, and Newt and Dumbledore are walking towards the castle. Dumbledore is on the same bridge as Voldemort's snake. Does Dumbledore know Nagini? Like, is this series gonna continue and he's gonna, like, know her or know of her? Like, is he sitting in these meetings with Harry and Half-Blood Prince and he's like, so Voldemort's snake, Nagini, she's a Horcrux, you're gonna need to kill her. By the way, we're Facebook friends. Like, does he know that that's, like, does he know? Or does he, like, see this woman at the end of the bridge and he's like, there's a woman there. I need to know more of the story. I need to know Nagini's whole story. I think she's gonna be a really fascinating character to follow, because we know, her end, but we don't know her beginning. And it's just fascinating to me that she was involved with both of the most notorious evil wizards to have ever existed. She was one of their pets, which is really weird, and she was possessed by him, which is amazing anyway. Okay, Credence's identity. This is making a lot of people mad, and upsetting a lot of people, and confusing a lot of people. So, Credence is revealed at the end of the movie to be a Dumbledore. I think Grindelwald is lying to him. Basically, Leta Lestrange swapped babies on what I think is the Titanic. It looked like the Titanic, right? A boat that sinks, and when it showed it, it was like, that's Titanic. Anyway, it just looked like Titanic. I don't know if the timeline's right. But anyway, so Leta Lestrange swapped her brother Corvus on this boat for a different baby, and that baby is supposedly Credence, who is supposedly a Dumbledore. Albus's brother, Ariana's brother, There is a legend that a phoenix will come to a Dumbledore in times of need, and in the end, possibly Fawkes is with Credence. Credence has a phoenix with him, and Grindelwald is like, you are a Dumbledore and your brother's out to kill you. I think Grindelwald is lying. I don't think Credence is an actual Dumbledore. It's a mind-blowing reveal. However, I never caught his name, but there is an Auror that the Ministry of Magic sets out to kill Credence throughout this whole movie, to hunt him. And he doesn't. He's like protecting Credence. And it's under Grindelwald's orders. And he kills that servant who's, I think, like a half woman, half elf, before she can, like, tell him his story. they don't want her to like reveal his identity because they want Grindelwald to reveal Credence's identity to Credence, because that's the draw to Grindelwald. He knows who I am. So they're protecting this identity so that Grindelwald can reveal it to Credence, which makes me very suspicious that it's not actually true. Also, does Dumbledore know that he has a brother, if it's true? He never revealed to Harry that he had another brother. And when they were in heaven or King's Cross, you know, the afterlife, he tells Harry, like, you know everything now, like, I have no secrets now. And he cries to Harry, like, it's a big deal, because he's like, I didn't tell you everything, and now I'm telling you everything. And Harry finally realizes, you know, what Dumbledore saw in the mirror and everything, which we will get to in a second. But he doesn't seem, and Dumbledore's so secretive, we know that, it's stated in the Harry Potter books, but does Dumbledore know that that's a relative of his? Because he's not revealing it to Newt. Although I noticed when they're sitting in a bus that when he asks Newt, do you know the rumors that they're saying about who Credence is? And Newt tells him about the Lestrange rumors. He looks away and confirms that those are the rumors. I did notice that. Don't know if that means anything. But Aberforth never mentioned another brother. You know, you would think that he would have, because he was so ticked at Albus, and he seemed to be wanting to tell Harry all the dirty secrets. Rita Skeeter never uncovered any hidden brother in Dumbledore's past for her book. And Bathilda Bagshot would have known, right? Because Rita got all of her information from Bathilda Bagshot, and Bathilda Bagshot knew the Dumbledores intimately. So if Bathilda didn't know, this is a big deal for them to have a baby brother. Also, I believe, I have to look at the dates again, but Kendra Dumbledore died before Credence would have been born, based on the dates that I've been seeing online, so I don't know. But the timeline's not adding up correctly for Credence to have been like a full brother to Albus. And people are thinking, okay, so maybe his father had like an affair in prison with another woman and it's a half-sibling. I mean, how do you do that though? There are Dementors everywhere. So, I don't know. I'm thinking that this next theory is correct. So this theory was actually brought to me by a friend. She actually mentioned this to me, and then I saw an article that like a couple days later, and I was like, oh my god, Hannah, you were right. So this theory is that the Obscurus that was attached to Ariana left when she died. And this is a dark force that isn't destroyed easily. So it went and attached itself to Credence. Credence is very old for a child who would have an Obscurial attached to them. Most children die before they become his age, which I've heard 18 and I've heard 25, so I don't know his actual age. But it's stated in the first movie that he's too old to have an Obscurus attached to him. It's not normal. Most kids die before they reach his age. So people are thinking that that is how he is related. That is how he is a Dumbledore, because it's not a blood brother, but it's Ariana's Obscurus that's attached itself to him. And so that's how he's connected to the family. And that's possibly why he has a phoenix following him around, because maybe Ariana's presence? I don't know. Okay, the blood pact and why Dumbledore was allowed to duel in the fight. So people are getting upset because Dumbledore has this blood pact with Grindelwald that they can't fight each other. And the end of the movie is basically Dumbledore saying, we gotta figure out how to break this pact so I can fight him. A lot of people are wondering if they had a blood pact before Ariana's death with that big fight, how were they able to duel in that big fight? And if Grindelwald immediately left, never to really contact Albus again before the end, they wouldn't have been able to make a blood pact like after Ariana's death. So when was this done? And if it was beforehand, it has to be beforehand. Why was he able to duel him then? So I wrote a big paragraph the other day about how this possibly could have happened. Basically, my thoughts are that it's stated in Deathly Hallows that nobody knows who actually killed Ariana. Spells were flying everywhere from all three boys. And we're led to believe, at least I was led to believe, that a spell ricocheted and hit her. And nobody knows whose spell it was. And it sits with Dumbledore for the rest of his life because he could have killed his sister. And Aberforth blames his brother for her death. So that just adds on to his guilt of, it probably was my fault and I didn't take care of her enough to begin with, so it is my fault anyway. No matter if it was my spell or not, this is all my fault because I brought Grindelwald into her life. So that's why Dumbledore feels guilty. And if you think about how the fight probably started, Aberforth was defending his sister. He was getting mad at Albus for wanting to be with Grindelwald, for putting Grindelwald before his family, all this kind of stuff, for putting ambition before family. And what I can see happening anyway is a fight breaking out between Aberforth and Grindelwald. Perhaps Dumbledore pulled out his wand and wasn't actually dueling Grindelwald, but was protecting his brother. So think about spells like Protego and Expelliarmus, right? Voldemort was killed because of Expelliarmus, and Expelliarmus backfire. Harry didn't attack him. Harry literally used a defensive charm, and it killed him. So the same thing could have been going on with Dumbledore. He could have been protecting his brother, and therefore he wasn't actually dueling Grindelwald. And there's a slip in the contract. There's the slip in the contract, there's the hole, there's the way through, there's the way that you can get away with it. I don't know what happens if you break a blood pact, or if it's just impossible, you can't do it, like you can't duel each other. But I don't think Albus would have died if he had dueled Grindelwald. Now that's just my speculation, because we don't know. But I think that it's very plausible that he was just defending Aberforth, and that was just the hole in the contract, was he wasn't actually attacking Grindelwald, he was protecting Aberforth from Grindelwald using defensive charms. McGonagall. McGonagall is the only plot hole that I'm a little confused about. So Harry Potter Wiki states that McGonagall would be too young to be in the Fantastic Beasts franchise as a teacher. So it's a little confusing as to why she was in the classroom when Dumbledore was teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts. I am on Pottermore right now on my phone, and I'm not seeing a birth year. And I don't think that that was like her mother, her sister, you know, whatever, because McGonagall's family tree doesn't add up that way. Yeah, McGonagall's backstory doesn't really add up with the fact that her mother would have been a teacher at Hogwarts. I'm still not seeing a birth year for her on Pottermore. But her birth year on the Harry Potter wiki page doesn't add up to the Fantastic Beasts franchise. However, that's Wikipedia. So you kind of have to think about that. It's something that I'm hoping J.K. Rowling addresses on her Twitter, because it is something that genuinely is confusing to me. I loved seeing Professor McGonagall. I loved that her personality was the same as it always has been. I loved that it obviously showed, even though it may have been a little early for it, it obviously showed a very early and close friendship between her and Dumbledore. But it is a little gray. So I would like that answered. Okay, Fawkes. I have questions about Fawkes. So one of the main questions I have from Harry Potter, and I realize it's not like a big important question, but I want to know what happened to Fawkes. When Dumbledore dies, everyone is in the hospital wing, and they fall silent because Fawkes is singing outside, and he eventually flies away. And you never see Fawkes again. You never hear Fawkes again. You never hear about him again. He's just gone. And I always wanted to know where he went. Did he go to somebody else? Did he find somebody else? Did he just go off into the wild? Like, I wanna know. But this movie actually gave me an idea. So Dumbledore tells Newt that there is a legend in his family, and it almost made me cry when he said this. There's a legend that a phoenix will come to a Dumbledore in need. And that his great-grandfather, I think he said, had one that stayed by his side until the day he died, and then he left. And that made me horribly depressed because I was like, that's what happens to you. But anyway, I digress. It made me wonder if, like, Fawkes is the same phoenix, like if it's the same phoenix that's attached itself to the Dumbledore family. Like I said, in the end of the movie, Credence has a phoenix, and like the very last shot, I think, is Credence like at the window, and Fawkes is, well, there's a phoenix right behind him, and I think it's Fawkes. And I want to know if, like, I believe that somehow Fawkes is going to assist Dumbledore in his duel with Grindelwald, and I believe that Newt is going to play a hand in giving, Fawkes to Dumbledore, and that's how Fawkes and Dumbledore kind of meet, and they stay together until the end. But it makes me wonder if Fawkes was the phoenix that was with, Dumbledore's great-grandfather and came to Credence when Credence was in need, because he may have Arianas Obscurus with him, and then will go to Albus when he is in need. And then it made me think, Dumbledore, when he dies, doesn't have any offspring. He doesn't have any, like, descendants, really. But it made me wonder, like, so if Aberforth was ever in need, would Fawkes return and go to Aberforth? So that just was something that kind of fascinated me, because I was like, I may have, like, kind of gotten an answer to my question. The Lestrange family tree. Alright, this is one that's really fascinating to me. So, Lita talks about her family tree, and it's a very important theme in this movie that Corvus Lestrange, which would be the Lestrange baby brother that Lita would swap for Credence, for the Dumbledore baby, whatever, would be like the last in the line of the Lestrange family. But she claims she killed Corvus. We know Bellatrix marries Rodolphus Lestrange. So the line isn't dead. If Corvus had died, the line would be dead, right? Because Lita dies. Lita doesn't have a sister, right? Like, there's not another Lestrange, right? They say that Corvus is the last in the line, and unless there's another female out there that they're not mentioning, I feel, personally, like Credence has to be Corvus. Like, he has to be Corvus Lestrange with Ariana's Obscurus, because it's the only way that makes sense, right? He has to be Rodolphus's father, because Lita dies, unless she's not really dead, but we see her kind of burning up. So Rodolphus has to come from somewhere. He would most likely take his father's name, unless his mother never married because of the times they were in then. So we know that there has to be the parent of Rodolphus out there somewhere. So my theory is that Credence really is Corvus. Lita doesn't know that her swap didn't really work. Perhaps she killed the Dumbledore baby. If there even is a Dumbledore baby. It could have just been a random baby. I think he is Corvus. And I think that he has Ariana's Obscurus with him. Because Rodolphus has to come from somewhere. Otherwise we wouldn't have Bellatrix. And that would be a darn shame, because even though she's a terrible person, she's an awesome villain. Aha! Yay! Okay, my favorite one! Now we've hit another one of my favorite little questions. And it's a very short one. Tom Riddle. So, Tom Riddle is born in 1926, right? Everybody, right? So, Tom Riddle's born in 1926. This movie takes place in 1927. So if Voldemort was born in 1926, then Dumbledore would have had to visit Tom Riddle in the orphanage about 11 years later. So 1937, 1938 would be my guess. I think I have those dates right. So, will we see Tom Riddle in this series? Because we've already been to Hogwarts, right? If you want to find Dumbledore, you go to Hogwarts. Like, that's the thing. I think we're going to be coming back to Hogwarts multiple times within this series, because that's where you find Dumbledore, is at Hogwarts, which makes me really happy. If we're going back to Hogwarts throughout the years up until 1945, it is likely that we will get a very small Tom Riddle cameo. How cool! How cool would that be? So, you know, I don't know if they'll do it, especially since both Tom Riddle actors have aged quite a bit since the movies that they portrayed Tom Riddle in. But how amazing would that be to just, you know, have, you know, them come in during a class like they did in this movie, or during anything really, and just Tom Riddle is there, you know, excuse us Tom, and Tom walks out, anything cool like that. I just think it would be so cool to just see Voldemort in this series, even just for like a split second. I think it would be so amazing, but I digress. Again, the woman who spoke to Nicholas Flamel in his book, so he goes into his cupboard after looking into the magic to the crystal ball and seeing what was going to happen in the cemetery, and Jacob leaves, right? And he opens the cupboard and the Sorcerer's Stone is there. I freak out in the audience because Harry touched that. And he opens this book and he flips to a page and he starts talking to this woman about how what he said would happen is happening. Who's he? Is it Dumbledore? Like, who is he? And who is this woman in the book? She's saying, we believe in you, you have to fight, blah, 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 blah. Who is this woman? Is this like an alchemist club thing? That's what I want to know. So anyway, that was a question I had. I want to know what house Theseus is in. Like, hello? Because he seems very brave. I'm a Gryffindor. I would like him to be a Gryffindor. But, like, he kind of comes off to me as either a Gryffindor or a Ravenclaw. He does not come off to me as a Hufflepuff, as pure Newt is. And he does not come off to me as a Slytherin, really. He is ambitious. But he seems like he values his family over his job. He's, you know, and he values other things, like when Travers is giving him orders, he's not blindly following because that's my job, that's my career. He's got Dumbledore's message in the back of his mind. He's thinking about Leda and the family records. You know, he's giving time to her. He's thinking about Newt when they go into the meeting. He hugs Newt. Like, I'm not, like, it's not that Slytherins are evil and don't hug. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he seems like he's putting value in other things, in not harming people, or not getting people hurt, like during the amphitheater thing, or he's putting value in his loved ones more than he is his own ambition and his own career. So he doesn't come off as a Slytherin to me, but I could be wrong. And he doesn't come off as a Hufflepuff to me just because I think that he is loyal to his loved ones. But he just doesn't seem like as generally loyal and generally loving and caring. It seems to me that he values doing the right thing more, like going for the right thing. That's what makes me think that he might have been a Gryffindor, is he's valuing doing good, and doing good for his family, doing good for the public, doing good for the Aurors. Like, that's what's coming off to me as, you know, protect and serve and love, and like the Gryffindor qualities, kind of. I'm just getting a very big sense of bravery and chivalry off of him. And then he also seems very smart. He just seems smart to me. So I could also see Ravenclaw. He just seems like he thinks separate from everyone else. You know, other people are giving him orders, telling him what to do, and he kind of contemplates it, and then he makes his own decision. So, I think he might be a Ravenclaw also. I see Ravenclaw qualities, but I want to know, does Dumbledore see the same thing in the mirror in 1927 as he did with Harry and the Sorcerer's Philosopher's Stone? So, in this movie, in Crimes of Grindelwald, we see Dumbledore staring into the mirror of Erised, and we see him seeing the blood pact that they made. He wants the bloodstone that they made, and he sees Grindelwald. And you can see the confliction in him. He wants to defeat him, but he also still misses him almost. He has a smile on his face, which is very interesting. But it was always my impression that when Harry finally realized in Deathly Hallows that Dumbledore did not see the socks, but he saw, he says he finally understood what Dumbledore saw in the mirror. I always thought that he meant Dumbledore's intact family. I thought he meant he saw his sister and his brother and his mom and his dad with him, intact, never to have been harmed or broken up. So it makes me wonder, because he has the bloodstone now, so he no longer desires it, right? Because he has it. So if he looks in the mirror now, would he just see Grindelwald staring back at him like he did, like, after the bloodstone thing? Or would he, you know, later on see his family? That's another question that I have, just personally. Dumbledore's teaching of defense against the dark arts versus transfiguration. I'm seeing a lot of people get upset about that. It was my impression that he taught Defense Against the Dark Arts, and then when the ministry came in and said, you're not teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts anymore. If you're not with us, you're against us. You've picked your side. You're not teaching it anymore. Dumbledore moved to Transfiguration. That was my impression. That's when he switched. So, I don't know. That was my impression. And then my final question is, I think, where do we travel next in this series? Where do you guys think we're gonna go next? I think that we are going, is it Austria where Nurmengard is? Let me look that up. Hold please. I looked it up. Yes, it's in Austria. I just had to be sure. But yeah, like, are we gonna go there? Because that's where Grindelwald is. So, I have a feeling that that is where the whole clan is gonna go next. Jacob is gonna want to rescue Queenie. Tina is gonna want to rescue Queenie. Tina is gonna want to go after Grindelwald because she is an Auror. Newt is going to probably do whatever Dumbledore does or tells him to do. And he's probably also gonna go wherever Tina goes. And everyone else, it seems like Yusuf Kama is kind of with Nagini now. Nagini lost credence. A lot of people lost their person, and she lost her person. And when they're on the bridge, I think she's got a coat over her, and I think it's his coat. So maybe they're gonna buddy up now. But yeah, I'm wondering where everyone's gonna go after this. I think Queenie's story is going to be very, very fascinating. I think Nagini's story is going to be fascinating for everyone who is, you know, very invested in Harry's story. Maybe not as interesting to people who are just following Fantastic Beasts, but to everyone who dove straight into Harry's story over and over again like I have. I think people are going to be very fascinated with Nagini and where she goes. I am very interested to see more of Dumbledore's struggles. I think that Jude Law did fantastic. I saw many similarities between his mannerisms and Richard Harris's mannerisms, which made me very happy. Not that Michael Gambon did a terrible job. I prefer Richard Harris. So there's that. And yeah, I'm just excited, you guys. It's fantastic. I loved the movie. I know a lot of people found it confusing, but if you just sit and you watch it and you really listen, I think you soak up so much. And oh, I forgot to put this in my little list. And you catch a lot when Lita is looking under her desk in Hogwarts and she sees like L plus N, Lita plus Newt. There is a Deathly Hallows symbol scratched on the desk. Like, I love catching things. So anyway, I digress again for the millionth time. Drink every time I say I digress. But I also want to say, for everyone who's kind of lacking a bit of faith in these stories, you know, have faith. Because, you know, we didn't have all of the answers to Harry's story by Goblet of Fire, right? We would all read the books and we had all these questions and all these theories just like we do now. And we were confused and we were conflicted and some of us were angry. I was not angry, but you know, I know a lot of people are losing faith in J.K. Rowling right now. It's just something we have to have faith in. I would like her to answer the question about McGonagall because that is a valid question to ask, I think. But you know what? She has a special way of tying things together in the end. I will never forget how blown away I was by, I think it's chapter 32. It's the Prince's Tale in Deathly Hallows, where, my god, everything was answered. I was just completely blown away. Like, it all made sense. Snape being in love with Lily, Harry being the master of the Elder Wand, you know, Snape and Dumbledore's whole plan together, and blew my freaking middle school mind, okay? And, you know, I know a lot of adults, like, guessed that Snape loved Lily, but, like, it blew my freaking mind as a kid, okay? And I never thought in a million years that we would be returning to the Wizarding World, because she said, you know, I kind of don't want to go back unless I have a story to tell. And she has a story to tell, and she's been working really hard on it. We only have 2 parts of the story, and Crimes of Grindelwald is only one part, and it's 1 act of a 5-act series. And like I said, we didn't have all of the answers to Harry's final ending until, you know, Deathly Hallows, like the end of Deathly Hallows. We were all confused as hell, and we're confused as hell now. It's like we're reading the books again, and it's driving me insane, but it's also wonderful. It's lovely. I've missed this so much, and, you know, I'm fine with it, and I'll see you in 2020 for more conspiracy theories. If you have the chance to see this movie more than once, I really suggest that you do. I really suggest that you kind of sit there. You don't talk through the movie. You just kind of sit and you kind of just soak it up. And you catch things that you didn't catch the first time or the second time. I saw it 3 times within the week. So I also wanted to show you. I got this poster during the special showing. So yeah, and everyone was right. Okay, everybody got it right, because everyone said that Queenie is over here separated from everyone else for a reason. You've got Jacob and Tina and Newt, and then Queenie's all over here all by her lonesome, and everyone was like, Queenie's gonna be a spy. Something's gonna happen to Queenie. Yeah. So I love it. There's Nikini. I just love her. I love it. I love it so much. It's just so good. And then I also got, move my basket. I got this too. I have the zoo pamphlet still. That's my special box, by the way. I also got this. Can you see it? Is it backwards? Is it showing up backwards? I'm always so bad at this. It says hashtag protect the secrets. That was the hashtag that was going on around, especially for the preview show. I don't know what to call it. The preview showings, the special showings before the actual release date. For everyone who saw it, it was protect the secrets. Do not do spoilers. And everyone was so good. So yeah. And I love the Deathly Hallows symbol. Different theaters gave away different things. Like, some people got Bowtruckle pins and Niffler pins, and yeah, so it's fun. But anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go. And I am just going to think about Fantastic Beasts and Harry Potter and how it all connects together, because my mind just, like in the words of Michael Scott, my mind is going a mile a minute. That fast. So, alright. Enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed this entire, like, 50,000 hour long video about my theories, and hopefully I'm planning on doing more Harry Potter videos because I really enjoy them. And I subscribed to Geek Gear special edition with special wizardry box. It's been over a month and I haven't gotten anything or a reply from them, so I'm kind of concerned, but as soon as I get it, I kind of want to do an unboxing. And I also have a video idea for comparing villains, comparing Gellert Grindelwald and Tom Riddle, so I think that'll be really fun to do. But anyway, I'm off. Have a wonderful day, you guys, and stay happy.